The CIA is a civilian foreign intelligence service of the United States government. With that being said, here are the Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association stadiums. There were two A's. Mitchell Stadium, Bluefield State Big Blues. Firstly, I've got to mention that this little sports complex has a state border running through it. The ballpark is in Virginia, and this stadium was built into the undulating landscape of West Virginia. Mitchell Stadium is held in high regard, by the locals in particular. Some of them boldly claim that it's the best high school stadium in the country, because it's home to high school teams as well. Whether that's true or not, seems like a great place to watch a game regardless. Bulldog Stadium, Bowie State Bulldogs. Structurally speaking, this is almost the exact opposite of the last one. Rather than the stands being built into the earth, they have absolutely nothing at their back. Rather than it being surrounded by nature, there's a whole lot of concrete on show, and a bit of nature as well, to be fair. It's just a basic bulldog of a stadium all round. Roebuck Stadium, Elizabeth City State Vikings. There is a city-state called Elizabeth, an enclave in North Carolina that I've never heard about. I guess this is their national stadium then. Not bad. But when you compare it to the other city-states of the world, it lags behind. Anyway, nonsense aside, this is another no-frills stadium. One positive though, in my view at least, is that it has a real grass field. It's just one of two in the conference that does. Luther Gerald Stadium, Fayetteville State Broncos. This stadium has had a little bit of work done since these shots were taken. You may have noticed that there were these unsightly, empty areas behind the end zones where temporary seating was placed. Now they've done away with the end zone seating, and there's just a whole lot of blue turf there instead. That certainly tidied up the place. Irwin Belk Complex, Johnson C. Smith Golden Bulls. This is yet another North Carolinian stadium that opened in 2003. I think I prefer this one somewhat, mainly due to the way it opens up to a stunning view of the Charlotte skyline in the background, as well as some parkland in the foreground. Beautiful. You don't really get that view from the main stand, so I guess the grass berm is the place to be. Lincoln Stadium, Lincoln University Lions. With a capacity of 2,600, this is the smallest stadium in the conference, but at least the one and only stand has a bit going on. You know, there's a split level seating layout, and the press boxes have a bit of a unique look to them, I suppose. Alumni Memorial Stadium, Livingston Blue Bears. Once more, this stadium has changed a lot since these shots were taken. I'm going to show you what it looks like in its current state and tell me if you can spot the difference. Yes, unlike the Bluefield Big Blue, the Blue Bears have actually taken the plunge and installed an entirely blue field. A very vibrant shade of blue. Even the sky is envious. Is that the Cookie Monster? George Williams Athletic Complex, St. Augustine's Falcons. Okay, I know I've already called a couple of stadiums basic, but this is pretty much as bare bones as it gets. I mean, from street level you can actually see the bones of the stadium. Oh no, I spoke too soon. The seats in the upper rows are quite sophisticated. I think I even see some cup holders. I know. Durham County Stadium, Shaw Bears. Plenty of college football teams play at an off-campus venue, but not many play at a stadium that is over 20 miles away, as is the case here. It's in a different city. I can see why they're willing to make the journey though. It seems to be one of the nicest stadiums in the conference. The exterior of the main stand looks rather interesting, and the stands are all built into landscaped earth, which I'm always a fan of. Rogers Stadium, Virginia State Trojans. As you can see in these shots, the main stand is a country mile from the field. However, once again, the stadium has recently had some work done. including the installation of a new orange and blue running track, and an artificial turf field, which are both closer to the main stand than they were previously. They also got themselves a nice new video board. Hovey Field, Virginia Union Panthers. Having opened in 1907, this is not only the oldest stadium in the conference, but one of the oldest college football stadiums still in use. In fact, Dr. George Hovey, the man who purchased the land that the stadium was built on and whom the stadium is named after, was born before the Civil War. It was actually the oldest natural grass stadium in college football, but they installed artificial turf 3 years ago. Anyway, enough about its oldness. It has plenty of other... Oh no, we're moving on, okay. Bowman Gray Stadium, Winston-Salem Rams. We've seen plenty of running tracks in this conference, but this is the first NASCAR-sanctioned quarter-mile racetrack we've seen, that's for sure. It is apparently NASCAR's longest-running weekly racetrack. But if you disregard the smell of petrol fumes and burnt rubber, it makes for a pretty good football stadium. The capacity, which is the largest in the conference, comes from a classic horseshoe seating layout, and there's also a rather nice field house with a built-in video board at the empty end. And those were the CIAA stadiums. My favourite of the lot would have to be, well, the last one was pretty cool, but I've got to go for Mitchell Stadium. If you're new around here, please consider subscribing, and as always, thanks for watching, have a good one.